Hi, it's Ron Wexler with the Wexler Group at Keller Williams, and today we're going to talk about what's really happening in this real estate market. So what people really need to understand about this 2026 market before they make any decisions is uncertainty is ruling our world. So right now, anybody who tells you they know exactly what's going on with the real estate world, with interest rates, with prices, is not really coming from reality. They're speculating. When the time is right, when you're ready to make a move, the market of the moment is what we have to deal with. So what's really interesting right now is the reason that people are so confused and uncertain about the market is because of trust and uncertainty. They're not sure what news to trust, what source to believe in, and so they're uncertain about, is the news they're getting real? The other piece to that is that there's no such thing as a national real estate market any more than there's such thing as a national weather forecast. Honestly, you need a local forecast. You need a local market. And it really comes down to your state, then your city, then your neighborhood, and in some areas it might come down to your street. So if you're looking at the news and you're getting your information from someone giving you a broad idea of what real estate's doing, it may have nothing whatsoever to do with the market where you're located. So the second question I get asked the most when I'm out in the public after how's the market is what are interest rates? And so right now what we're seeing is the rates hovering somewhere between 6.5, maybe inching a little, even as high as 7. But for the most part, they're right around 6 to 6.5%. Historically, that is almost exactly what the average interest rate has been since the end of the Depression. If you have a very short perspective, you think interest rates are normal at 3% or 2.5 or 3 or 4%. And anybody who's a senior citizen knows that the last time those rates existed, they were a little kid in first grade. That the interest rates have not been at 3 or 4% until just recently for 30 or 40 or 50 years. Also, if you have a little more perspective, you might remember like when I started in real estate in the 80s, and interest rates were over 15%. But if you average it out and you look at what rate has been the most common, the longest, it's the 6 to 7% range. So people hoping to see a 3 or a 4% rate again, they might be waiting a long time. So a few trends that are happening right now is days on market has gone up and inventory has expanded because homes aren't selling as fast. And also we've had kind of a pent-up demand where everybody kept waiting for rates to come down before they would make a move. And now people are finally realizing rates might not be coming down at least significantly in a long time. So there's a lot of people who just waited and finally said, no, we want to move. And they're willing to take the higher interest rate that today's market offers. It's interesting. One of the ways that we've countered that is the mortgage company that we've partnered with will give our clients a free refinance really within the next 5 years. So anytime the interest rates go down, if they go down, they can take advantage of the current rate at that time, but they can take care of the current prices today. Because remember, if the interest rates do miraculously go down, the prices are going to go up, and most likely inventory is going to go down too. So it's going to be harder to buy a home. It might be smarter to buy a home right now while the interest rates are pretty flat in the 6 to 6.5 range, and there's a decent amount of inventory to choose from, and prices haven't really spiked for the last 2 years. So right now, move-in ready homes are most competitive. Honestly, I blame it on HGTV. People see those shows and they expect the house to be absolutely like out of a magazine perfect, or they expect it to be grossly discounted so they can go out and do everything. In the old days, people moved into a home, changed the kitchen 10 years later, maybe did some carpet and paint. Maybe they waited 15 years before they put in a new bathroom. They just lived with whatever was there. And now the mentality is really people just want brand new. They don't want a project. They don't want to do it later. So the homes that are staged and really in the best condition and have the most updates are definitely selling at the highest multiple and fastest right now in this market. So it's very interesting that we now have AI finding its way into the real estate business. And certain big search engines have partnered with AI companies. So when you go to do a search, you might actually do better starting in Gemini or ChatGPT or something like that, where before nobody was really Googling find me a house. They would just go straight to realtor.com or kw.com or the wexlergroup.com and start looking for homes. Now people are putting a description of what they're looking for into AI and asking it to do the work. Honestly, the easiest way to find a home is still to use one of the big search engines like realtor.com, Zillow, etc. if you're the public. Realtors have more access, but honestly, the best place to search for homes, of course, is the wexlergroup.com. So having said all of that, what it really comes down to is having a local expert, right? Somebody who really knows the market to share with you what you need to know to make sure you maximize your next move. Reach out to the Wexler Group. Obviously, we're more than happy to help you. And in fact, in our marketplace, we've got things covered through all of Chicagoland. Also, though, we have a network of the top agents throughout the country who work the way we do, who care about you and will take really good care of you, and who are the local economist of choice, right? They're the agent who knows their market. So anywhere that you're thinking about a move, anywhere in the country, either will help or will make sure you get somebody who really understands the local trends and what's going on so you can maximize your success when you make your next move. So as always, you can email me, ron@thewexlergroup.com. You can also just pick up the phone and call 708-629-5151. Or if you go to thewexlergroup.com, you can message right through the website. In fact, you can actually write out notes and everything. So we're very easy to catch up with, believe me. You'll never not hear back from us pretty quick. And our team is very readily available for you for any questions you might have. Thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.